Okay, let's get started. So my voice is clear, right? I'm not using earphone. So if voice is clear, I will not use it. Right? Should be okay, correct?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, good. So we're talking about data types, okay, type of data from statistics perspective. So we said that.
Hello.
Yes, Keshav,
Can't hear you.
we can hear you now. Okay, so we're saying that at a high level, we have numerical data, okay, and in numerical data, we have discrete and
Hello?
continuous. Keshav, can you hear me?
Wait, can you hear me?
Are you talking to me, Keshav? Keshav?
Oh, in the chat, he said he can't hear anything.
He can't hear anything. Okay, can you just check with him? So we're talking about two types of data. One is called as quantitative data, right? And which is numerical data. And there we saw discrete and continuous data. Okay, then we talk about categorical data or qualitative data. Okay, so qualitative data cannot give us any quantitative meaning, but it gives us qualitative meaning. In the sense, okay, it can tell us whether it's good or bad, right? Is it lower or higher? But not how much higher, how much lower. We can't do that. Okay. So we discussed about nominal and ordinal, right? In nominal, there is no order as well, like male, female, right? You can't. Of course, if you talk about alphabetical order, you can do that. But in terms of say meaning, in terms of importance, in terms of any qualitative thing, we cannot rank them, right? We can't rank like gender. We can't rank, let's say, regions, right? North, south, east, west, they're all equally important, right? You can't rank companies unless until you talk about some specific characteristics of it, right? Sales, market capitalization, or quality, number of cars sold, all those things we can. But just the name you cannot rank, right? So you can't rate a company's name, rank, not rate, rank company's name just based on name, right? Of course, if you have some quality, then you can, right? So these are called nominal. Okay, so these are there just to represent those numbers and does not give any order. Ordinal also has a orders. It is to represent, of course, just like nominal, but difference is that it also has an order. So poor, fair, good, very good, excellent, right? So you know, okay, poor is lowest value, and as you go up, you will reach excellent, right? So there's a inherent ranking component to it, right? Grade, right? Choice, okay? So we know that excellent is better than good, right? But we don't know by how much, right? If you say, do you want good or excellent? You'll say, I want excellent, isn't it? But how much better is excellent? Okay, it is more, right? But doesn't tell you whether it's 3 times better or 5 times better. For example, 8 and 10, we know, right? 10 is higher than 8. But we also know by how much. By how much is 10 higher than 8? Gauri? By how much is 10 higher than 8?
By 2.
Yeah, so scale of 2 in terms of percentage.
It's 125%.
Right, so in terms of percentage, so 2 out of 8 is 2 by 8 is 25%, right? So it is 25% higher, or you say 125%, right? 8 is 100, so you add 25 on top of it, right? So so we know by how much, but here we don't know by how much. Okay, but ordinal will tell you that okay, there is an order. Okay, so these are some of the the qualitative of or the different like the types of qualitative data. Okay, I'm not going into the differences because as long as we know what it is, we are good, right? We don't have to go by the definition and things like that. Okay. So we spoke about discrete and continuous. We spoke about nominal and ordinal. Apart from that, you have time series data. Okay. Time series data is with changes with respect to time. Okay. So if I ask you, okay, like how much sale did you make? So you'll ask me, talking about today's sale or yesterday's sale, right? Or last week's sale or this week's sale, right? So there's a time component also along with the data. Okay, so when we mention such data, we also mention the time component. Okay, that's called time series. Okay, and then of course you have text data, right? So at text data, okay, we cannot. Can we perform any kind of arithmetic or numerical analysis or mathematical analysis? No, you cannot add, subtract, right? But there are some special applications where we use on text data. Okay, so these are some examples. Okay, let's talk about these examples. What is word frequency? Have you all seen word cloud? Word, W-O-R-D, word cloud. If no, just Google word cloud and see what you get. So word cloud will tell you which words are repeating maximum number of times. So when you type word cloud, okay, it will tell you all the words which are there in the text in the story. The words which are represented maximum number of times will be bigger in size, and which are spoken less will be smaller in size. So that's one analysis that you can perform. Okay, so whatever graphs that we have learned, okay, in data visualization, all those graphs you should be able to link with the data. What kind of data does it take, right? So when you say ordinal and ordinal data, okay, can you plot any graph? No. Okay, so the plots that we have spoken about, right? We have spoken about box plot, isn't it? You all know what is box plot,
Yeah.
right? So the box plot, scatter plot, histogram, all these plots that we have discussed are linked to quantitative data, are linked to the quantitative or the numerical data. Okay, so most of the plots we draw for the quantitative data. We don't have anything as such for the qualitative data, right? In qualitative data, you can only represent in table, not even table, in some kind of picture format, right? Excellent, greater than good, you can put boxes and things like that. Coming back to text data, so these are the plots that you can draw. Okay, so what is word frequency? You can draw word frequency plot. And these are the analysis. Okay, so what is sentiment analysis? Okay, so let's say you read a tweet, correct? And you want to make, or let's say you hear, like let's say I say a sentence. So you want to know whether I'm talking negative or positive or neutral kind of word. So sentiment, okay, analysis talks about the sentiment that sentence carries. Okay, so sentiments, okay, are of sometimes two types or three types: positive sentiment, negative sentiment, and neutral sentiment. Okay, so for example, I say you have not done your work, so that is negative sentiment. Okay, the sentence has a negative meaning to it. It's a negative sentiment. Awesome, great, you have done a fantastic job. Okay, these are all positive sentiment. Okay, I'm coming home tomorrow, that is neutral, right? So now you tell me, can you think of an application of sentiment analysis? Can you think where, why would you analyze sentiment? Any idea? Try.
Can you explain it again? I'm still kind of confused. Sentiment analysis.
Let's say you own a company, or let's say you are in charge of, you're marketing head of a company. Okay, you want to know what your customers are talking about. Okay, so there is a post on Facebook. So you have a company Facebook post page, and somebody makes a post to that. Okay, your product is awesome, or your product is bad, right? So what happens when So as a company, you need to know what people are talking about. See, if it is just one post, right, or two posts, it's fine. Okay, you can read and you can know, okay, this fellow is not happy with our product, this fellow is happy with our is happy with our product, right? But let's say daily you're getting thousands of posts. You launched a new product to the market. Okay, you launched a new product and people are giving feedback about it. You're getting thousands of posts every day. It is not possible to do it by human, right? If you try to go through 1,000 posts itself, will take you probably 10 days, and in 10 days you get more, right? More new feedback, right? So it is not possible. So in that case, what we do is we use machine learning technique, okay? The analysis technique to read all the 1,000 sentences, 1,000 posts, and you run sentiment analysis on it. So it'll tell you, okay, post number 1 is 1. Let's say 1 means it's a positive. So ultimately you're taking input as text and giving output as 1, 0, -1, let's say. Okay. 1 is positive sentiment, 0 is neutral, -1 is negative sentiment. Okay. And then later you can add how many ones you got, how many zeros you got, how many -1 you got. Right. So if you have 1,000 posts and if you have got 600 ones, okay, and 300 zeros, you know that your product is good, right? Only 100 people are unhappy out of 1,000. Okay, at least 600 people are happy with your product. But if you got 400, 500 ones, you know that your product is not good. Okay, so this is within few seconds, right? You will know how many positive sentiments are there, how many positive reviews are there, how many negative reviews are there, how many neutral reviews are there. So sentiment analysis, another analysis people do, can be one of your projects if you're interested in case of that you want to. Maybe you tweet analysis. Tweet analysis is very common thing. Okay, tweet analysis. Let's say you run your YouTube videos, and people are giving feedback about it. Okay, so let's say people do it. Okay, so let's say there's a movie distribution company. They launched their trailer. Okay, and they want to predict how much business movie will do based on the reviews that you are getting. Okay, so getting negative reviews, you know that people may not like the topic. Positive reviews, you say, okay, you are going to get more money, right? You can predict your revenue, okay, based on the analysis. Okay, so this is called sentiment analysis, and this is the input is text. Okay, you take you can't draw a scatter plot there. Okay, you can't draw a bar graph there, but definitely you can do sentiment analysis. Then you have language translation, right? So language translation is, I mean, you know that, okay? So let's say Google Translate, and there are many websites where you can convert your English text into Spanish, French, Portuguese, whichever language you want, right? You can translate into those languages. So language translation. You also have this prediction, okay? So let's say when you type something in Google, right? You just type first word, second, third word, it is trying to predict, isn't it? Okay, so you don't like the prediction. So again, you go and type second word. Then again, based on 1 and 2 words, machine will try to give you prediction, right? Google will try to predict the word. So it changes, okay? As you type more and more words, it's trying to find what you could be typing, right? So that's also analysis, text analysis, isn't it? It's a prediction of text. It's trying to predict, okay, what next word will you be putting there, right? That's another analysis that we do on text. Spam filtering, right? When you open your Gmail, okay, you'll have a spam, right? And if you go and see, I don't know if you have seen or not, if you go, you'll see a lot of spam messages there, right? So Gmail is intelligent enough to know which is spam and which is not, right? So sometimes, good email also land up in spam. So yeah, that's a error. That's the error that the algorithm is making. Of course, you can't have 100% accurate algorithm, right? The algorithms will make some mistakes. So that's sometimes spam might come to your inbox. Your friend's email can land up in spam because it looks for some characteristics in the email, some text which you're selling something. Okay, you're doing over marketing. Okay, those things are identified as spam. So so sometimes your friend's email can also land up in spam because if it matches to that characteristics. Okay, so these are some of the analysis or some of the algorithms or some of the analysis work people do on text. Okay, so yes, so when you have a text, you can also perform different kind of analysis. So the first type of data we are talking about is called text data, right? Okay, so I'm going to skip this. This is something different I'm going to talk about.